0864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Third competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. Tap it in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
After the first day in full pads yesterday afternoon, the Ducks are back on the practice field this afternoon, and happy Friday to everybody joining us. We thought that we would have a Toyota Women's Sports Schedule spotlight for you on Oregon soccer tonight, but if you missed the news yesterday, the Ducks not playing Corbin tonight to open the season with that exhibition. Contest will not be rescheduled, COVID protocol, so that means next Thursday at Pat Bay Field against Mexico State, Oregon soccer will begin their season and the Oregon Athletics full season in 22-23. Yesterday after football practice, we talked with offensive line coach and associate head coach Adrian Klemm, running backs coach Carlos Locklyn, as well as kicker Camden Lewis and wide receiver Isaah Crocker. That's all on the show for you today. First day in full pads, always there's excitement, right? There's always a big build-up toward that first day in full pads, and I think that it's safe to say, and I don't think I'm out of turn saying this, that there was a lot of, shall we say, energy at practice yesterday, and I would anticipate it to be the same today. Oregon is planning to scrimmage for the first time in fall camp also this upcoming weekend. We'll have interviews from Coach Lanning and a whole lot more for you on Monday's show. I'm still here, but so is Jordan. He's here. Ready and waiting in the bullpen. I could have given him 2 weeks off. But who's to know? Today is the official due date for the baby. So I'm really hoping that we have just a great moment in the history of Duck Insider that my phone rings during a segment and I'm like, I'm out. See you, everybody. But we'll see what happens. Also, you know that there are certain NCAA compliance rules in place that prevents me from talking about specific recruits. If I mention recruits' names, it's an NCAA compliance violation. And, I've always joked, but it's kind of not a joke, that I like my job and I don't like to get in trouble and get compliance emails. And then, then I might never be hosting Duck Insider again. And Jordan will be here not just when I'm on paternity leave, but forever. Now, I want to just say all that as to point out, though, that if you're on social media, it's a good day for Oregon men's basketball. That's all. Just, you'll see it. Yeah, you'll see it on social media. Let's hear a little bit from Adrian Klemm, associate head coach, offensive line coach. It was interesting talking to him about how the first day in full pads is not really that different for the offensive line. And he broke down his position group. Let's hear from Adrian Klemm from after practice last night.
Because everybody's a little dinged up.
Yeah, I'll let Coach Landon kind of touch on that, but it's a great opportunity for the young guys that just got here and then some of the guys that haven't had opportunities in the past to really show what they can do and kind of learn on the run, So.
How beneficial is it for you to come in and have so many established vets, and how quickly are you able to get into kind of the nitty-gritty of the offense and the offensive line?
It's been good. We were able to make some gains in the spring. They had a foundation to build upon. Some of the things that we're doing obviously are different, but it's a mature group and they take pride in what they do. And some of them, they have their foot on the coals. They're trying to do some things and play beyond this. So there's a sense of urgency in the room, and guys are trying to do the best they can do every single day and pushing themselves.
Even going back to the end of spring, you were still rotating Steven and TJ in terms of guard, tackle, and seeing which was best. Mm-hmm. With TJ still a little limited so far, how do you try to go about making that final decision in 3 weeks, but you've got 2 scrimmages. One guy hasn't seen a lot of the field so far. How do you go about what are you looking for to make that decision?
I have a good idea on what position best suits them, but there's always a positive outcome when you have position flexibility, when you have some mobility. It's not something I like to do within a game, but it's comforting, especially for offense coordinator, to know that guys are capable of doing certain things. And you never want to throw a guy in there during the game that hasn't taken any reps at that position and then kind of blame the kid and say, oh, well, he's not doing a good job. If you haven't given an opportunity to kind of hone his craft and do that, in practice, then you can't expect them to have success in the game. So it's just one of those things those guys have done in the past, and just keep them fresh for that. But my goal is not to do that throughout a game.
Where's Josh Connerly maybe impressed you the most in the first 6 practices?
Just his level of poise. He's making some mistakes. I mean, he's a young guy. There's a lot thrown on his plate. We're going kind of fast. I kind of overload him initially, throw him in the fire, and just build up a little bit of mental toughness. But he's a guy that's up for it, and just he's energized by the moment. And he's been pushing through it. And I guess another thing I'm impressed with is that he's never complaining ever. He just his competitive poise is really impressive for a young man.
How about with Dave and Kawika, who are also new here?
Yeah, Dave and Kawika, the same thing. Those guys are really pushing themselves, and they're trying to do the best they can. And just they're all working. And the older guys that we have in our group are really good with that in terms of mentoring and kind of putting their arm around them, and just talking about the little things, like in terms of having a routine off the field and keeping your body fresh and all that. And so those guys are kind of taking to that, and it's a good group. They're a good group of kids.
How different is that as a coach compared to last time you were at this level, where the 4-game redshirt rule wasn't a thing? So it would be like, all right, well, you're going to probably play in a redshirt true freshman, but here, even if they redshirt, you can still play. It doesn't have to be defined by, are you on the field week 1? You could be on the field week 2. You could be on the field week 4, where, again, last time you're at UCLA, probably thinking more in terms of the long term, and they're absolutely not going to play. Here, they could be playing week 2.
It's kind of unique at UCLA, and there's a bunch of guys, like almost 2 waves that went to NFL, and all those guys started as a true freshman. Most of them were 3 and out, and so it's kind of never really had the luxury of redshirting guys, So been through this before. Just you kind of weather the storm. You just hope guys pick things up on a good. I don't want them to get flustered, because I'm not flustered. It's just as we make mistakes during practice, we just go inside and we get them corrected. The only time it becomes problematic is if they become error repeaters, right? So we just try to build off what we do each day, and if there is something that needs to be corrected, we just address it. And those guys have been doing a good job of retaining things and building up on the things they did well the day before, and just we want to continue going in that direction.
You had pads on today. Did it sound different? Did it sound like you wanted to sound with full pads on?
No, it's the same for us. I mean, we're overworked and underappreciated. It's just offensive line. Even when we don't have pads on, guys are throwing hands and all that. You tell them to calm down, but both sides of the ball are competitive, and in close quarters, and just an aggressive group. And sometimes when it gets a little bit hot and everything, things get turned up because they get a little frustrated. And it's more about trying to dial it down. There's no need to go out there today and get them all riled up or anything like that. They're ready to go and thump a little bit, but they've been doing that anyway. The guys have been working really hard. Coach Lane's got them fired up and pushing them each day the right way, and the guys have been responding well.
When you do have the benefit of and the luxury of having a really experienced group, fans can look at it and say, well, there's not a lot of questions necessarily because they see a lot of returning starters. But the minute they go to the next level is going to be all the warts, all the things that they point out and whatnot. So what are the things that you see to come from the NFL, where a guy like Alex, a guy like Ryan, all these guys who've played quite a bit, but they still have lots of areas to improve before leaving here? Yeah,
you can have a certain level of success. It could be dependent on the conference you're in, who you're going against. There are a number of different variables that contribute to that. But the interesting thing about this, and what's wonderful about this, every dollar I've ever made has been in football. I've been around my whole life. You could always get better. That's whether you're a coach or a player. It's just every day you're building upon your skill set, your legacy, and all those different things. So, hand placement, footwork, and all those things, especially for those guys, we're doing a lot of things totally different than what they're doing last year. So it's definitely a learning curve, and there's not a day they come in and just know exactly what to do. We're giving things and adding to it every day. So I think from a standpoint of drill work and all that, you're adding to your masterpiece all the time, and you could always build upon it and refine your tools.
What's it been like over the last few months working with Kenny Dillingham, with Carlos Locklyn, kind of meshing your schemes with their schemes and just getting to kind of build your own offense together?
That's been great. I think Kenny is really open to everything. He has his ideas on certain things, and he has some principles that are kind of concrete, but he's allowed us to have some say in that, and then he's also allowed us to bring in some of our own ideas. And the one thing about it is maybe he doesn't use everything, but he's open to anything. And just he's a guy that his door is always open, and you know how Kenny is. I mean, he's easy going guy. I enjoy our meetings. It's unique. It's just it's a casual environment, but it's in terms of our meeting. But he's demanding at the same time, and he wants fresh ideas. And if he has questions, you better have answers. So as long as you have that, then he's willing to utilize anything that you have to bring to the table.
What about with Coach Locklyn? I mean, how's that been with you, like kind of creating the run game and getting those lanes together and stuff?
We have the same mindset and same ideals in terms of aiming points at the backs and what the lines are supposed to do and how you fit combos and all this stuff like that. It makes it pretty easy. So along those lines, we're on the same wavelength. So it's pretty fairly easy transition.
Well, the task is certainly in the here and now and this week and a scrimmage and and obviously this season. But have you emphasized to your second unit guys in particular that this is time really that's crucial for them, because you are probably going to lose at least 4, potentially 5 guys, and the questions we're going to ask you in February and March could be very well answered if they capitalize now.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, I'm loyal to my guys. They're my guys. But I mean, it's just whoever's the best. What have you done for me lately? If there's a guy that elevates himself, plays better than the guys that've been here, then he's going to play. And I owe that to the other guys, to that player, the guys that are next to him, and to our team. To have our best 5 out there. So they know it, and that's my mentality about it. Just whoever's the best 5 is going to play. And if it's a guy that maybe is a different position, but he's better than some other guys, then he's going to get in the game. If it's a young guy that 4th game of the season, he's going to be better than somebody else, and he's going to start out early on. So it's just giving them the opportunity, and because of certain things, people are having more opportunity than usual, and it's just a matter of what they can do with it and how soon they can do it.
Just another aspect of the job on recruiting side, just your perspective on where you guys sit, particularly in the offensive line group at this point, and what you're kind of aiming for in this class.
We're just aiming to get good players, right? Just working at it, and just it's a continuing process. There's a reason why, majority of teams in the league, the offensive linemen are some of the highest paid players. It's just it's almost like a dying breed. It's hard to find quality O-linemen, especially coming out. You just project, take your time with it. There's some guys that are late developers, and those are the guys sometimes that you want because they have the upside. And some of these guys that come out and they're ready-made, they're kind of tapped out by the beginning of their sophomore year, or never really get any better. So it's just about making the right decisions, especially for us. It's critical because there is going to be so much movement after the season. There's a lot of kids that are going to have the opportunity to come in here and have an immediate impact. So you want to make the right decisions.
And of course, adding the best players possible, but are you aiming minimum 3 and preferably closer to 4 or 5 based on how many you leave?
I'm not sure with that. It just kind of depends on. I think that'll depend on the quality. So I'm not going to just take 6 to take 6. I'm not going to, it's just if we can get some, quality players, then we take them, and if we can't, then we take less. So.
What area do you feel your group can improve most on before week 1?
I think it's one thing to memorize everything and kind of know what you're supposed to do, but just to apply it, put everything together. Like I said, it's a work in progress. Even at the end of the season, I'm not going to be satisfied with it. You just want to kind of master your craft. So we're just going to keep on working on it every single day.
Do you cross-train true freshmen at all in the fall? Like, is Josh a left tackle only? Is Dave a left guard only?
Every player is unique, so it's just it changes depending on the kid and what they can handle mentally. So even though I want to kind of throw them in the fire and create a sense of urgency, at the same time I want to give them a fair chance. And I want the other coaches to have a fair assessment of them. Some people aren't able to handle certain loads, and then there's other people that can, and some players have different skill levels at certain times. And so just want to give them a fair opportunity, and I know what they can do and what they're capable of, and if they can show me they can do more, then get more, and if they can't, then I'll taper it back a little bit and slow it down and let them catch up. So
in general, though, are you trying to have an idea of when do you want to have an idea of where everybody fits best?
Every day. Every day. Every day is you're evaluating that, and it's a constant work constant work. It's always in progress. So I can't say there's a day where you just figure out okay, this is it. It's just when those guys, they're developing every single day, and some people, it may take 2 weeks, some people may take 2 months.
Interesting stuff from Adrian Klemm, Associate Head Coach, Offensive Line Coach, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. That's Adrian Klemm talking offensive line. You heard him say that when you put pads on for the O-line, it doesn't change much. A little bit of a different approach from Carlos Locklyn. We'll hear from the running backs coach coming up. Nils Schielander is tuning in. He says, happy Friday from Europe and good luck with the baby business. Thanks, Coach. Oregon men's tennis head coach tuning in. It is an international audience. It really is. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that. When we come back, Carlos Locklyn, running back coach for the Ducks on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. Carlos Locklyn, the Oregon running back coach, he met with the media yesterday. First day in full pads, and he had a pretty funny response. And I think that the consensus was in the studio that it was a very good interview. Yeah, they're all nodding in approval. Carlos Locklyn. Now let's hear from the Oregon running back coach.
Well, Carlos, when you stepped into the job, you were inheriting a room that at one point was down to 1, and now you've got 5. Just how different in terms of just management and going about it is it for you compared to 5-6 months ago?
When I came, I never worried about that. No, I knew Coach Landon was going to put me in the right situation, put the team in the right situation to find the right backs, and he knew I was going to work, him and Coach Dillingham. So we had started off with 2 scholarship guys. Now we got 5 and really good backs. What does Bucky bring that? What does he add to your room that you didn't have already? Man, pure toughness. I'm talking about that kid is tough. And he's just a natural-born leader, bringing everybody together. And like I said, he did it in the Big Ten. So you talking about it's a joy to have him. Comes to work every day, smile on his face. But he is, tough. He is tough. With that many scholarship backs, what's your philosophy in terms of just distribution in a game? I always say those things take care of themselves. You don't have nobody being complacent out there on the field. Like I tell the kids, you're going to take to my personality. I'm not a complacent person. I come here to work just like I was the guy volunteering in Memphis. So I'm trying to pour the same thing into them. No, just because whatever stars you was in high school, that don't mean nothing in my room. When you get out there on that field, you better come every day to work. Because if you don't, the next man going to step up. So nobody's going to be complacent in there.
How's that competition gone out through 6 days of practice?
Competition has been good. Each back have their strengths and weaknesses. Some kids may think they don't have weaknesses, but all of them have their strengths and weaknesses. Been pretty good. Shundala been good. Byron Caldwell been good. Noah has been Noah. Bucky has been good, and I'm excited about Jordan James. What have you seen from Jordan James? Big, explosive, violent runner. He don't waste no time getting vertical. He's a joy to be around. He's like a sponge. He tries to soak up everything. He's around the older guys. He is a true joy to have.
What about Sean? What have you seen from him working his way back?
Sean has, like I said, I'm proud of Sean. Sean has came on from this spring. He's been steady, good player. Like I said, that's what you expect from a veteran guy. You expect for that.
Sorry, with Bucky, how did he get on your radar? Were you familiar with him before you got to Oregon?
A lot of these kids I may have, prior relationships with, maybe, down the road that I always remembered. And when he got in the portal, I remember the kid. So, it just went from there. But I'm just happy to have him.
With pads on today, did it sound different? Did it sound like you wanted to hear with full pads on?
It ain't gonna never sound like I want to hear. I'm old school. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, so ain't gonna never sound like that. So I want to be even a little bit more physical. My boys, they gonna always say the word physicality. They know I lean on that. We can get better. I'm always gonna tell them we're gonna get better.
In special teams, you're kind of trying to distract all the punt returners with throwing medicine balls and things like that. Where have you seen those guys improve over the fall camp?
All of them are doing well. Seven, Chris Hudson, you got Chase Coulter back there, you got Delgado back there, then you got the young pup back there, Jordan James. They all have done well. Like I said, competition brings success, man. So all of them back there competing, and they ain't got much better from the spring.
With Byron, where have you seen him make the most progress in his game since you got here?
Byron, he is improving on the part of listening, taking the coaching. He is getting better, trying to attack the hole. Great hands, and he's getting better in his routes. He's doing a good job.
Who's the best listener in that room?
Me. I'm the best listener. I'm the best running back in the room. And I tell them that every day.
Get you some reps.
Yeah.
Can you prove that you're the best running back in that room?
I think you put the ball on the 1 yard line. Ain't none of them out there tougher than me. They know that. That's why I try to stay in that weight room and work out, because I tell my boys I want them to work out. I want to look as good as they do. So I'm the toughest one in the room, period.
With that approach and attitude to the team, are you hoping that rubs off on them, and do you see that?
I ain't going to have no choice but to rub off, because I ain't changing. It's the same standard every day. And you see them boys, they take the field like that. They work hard, because they hear my voice from the beginning of practice to the end. They ain't got no choice, because I ain't gonna let up. I'm not gonna cheat my kids in that room.
With Jordan James, has he impressed you at any point? Like, is this what the guy you expected to get, or has he, produced at a level that was more than what you anticipated?
Don't shock me. I've been knowing Jordan since he's been in 9th grade. Don't shock me at all. It's what I expected. So. Anything those guys in there do, it don't shock me. That's what I expect. I expect them to take it from the classroom to the field. It's a really good room, and the best thing about the room, it is a really good group of kids. And the main thing I'm trying to pour into these kids that I think sometimes we lose as coaches and adults, learn how to be one. That you can achieve great things when you're leaning on one another. Because there's going to come a time where you're going to need one another. So that's one thing I pour into those kids' room. Man, learn how to be one. Learn how to root for one another. But the room is gelling well, and I'm excited about it.
There's going to be a scrimmage in the next couple days, week or so. Just what do you hope to see accomplished or show up from your guys when you guys do scrimmage?
Same word, physicality. That better show up. That's what I expect to see. I expect for them to play hard. I tell them all the time, effort don't take talent. Run to the football, because it rubs off on everybody else. It rubs off on your teammates. So I expect to see physicality, discipline, and effort.
You talk about physicality, but Coach Lanning has also had an emphasis on speed. So how do you sort of balance that physicality with the speed emphasis to make a complete back?
Speed brings power. Power is physicality. When you play with speed and you got something that's standing in the way, that speed turns to power, which in turn turns into what? Physicality. So if you play with great speed, you're going to play with great physicality.
In your room, it's clear you guys have a lot of talent, but maybe not a lot of experience, with Marquise Irving having the most college yards so far. Has there been someone in your running back room who's stepped up and kind of been an experienced leader to the younger guys, or is it all by one?
It's been a collective group, but the room experienced, because I'm experienced at that position. So they experienced, they'll be fine.
Physicality, that's what we're going to see in the scrimmage, and I think that's what we're going to see from this running back room over the course of the entire season. And if you don't, then that's going to be a very unhappy Coach Locklyn. Carlos Locklyn, Oregon running back coach, meeting with the media yesterday. Tobias asks, does Locke have any eligibility left? Unfortunately, no. But if there was ever a guy who was going to put the pads on and go play still, I think you know that it would be it would be Coach Locklyn. There's no doubt about it. Duck Insider today brought to you by our friends at Hoodoo Ski Area. Preseason pass sale going on now. The family fun destination since 1938. Longtime sponsors of Oregon Athletics. Head to hoodoo.com for more information. When we come back in the Country Financial Studio, more Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We've got Camden Lewis. We've got Isaah Crocker meeting with the media after practice last night. Coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Ducks are back on the practice field for Oregon football this afternoon, getting ready for the first scrimmage, and we'll hear from Coach Lanning over the course of the next couple days. We'll have all those interviews for you on Duck Insider on Monday. Camden Lewis, he met with the media, and you know what? It's so amazing when you talk about a guy like Cam, who's now one of the veterans of this team, who's been around. Such an odd thing in football, right? That there's a reason that you call them all the specialists. They can win a game, they can lose a game. Now, I'll never forget, Tom Osborne said this to me once, that special teams, there's only one reason the special teams coordinator ever wants to get talked to after a game. It's either because there was something really good that happened, you know, game-winning kick, awesome punt return for a touchdown, or it's when something really bad happens. You give up a kick return for a touchdown. Something crazy happens on special teams. I remember Tom Osborne said that. You only want to talk to the special teams guys when it's either really good or really bad. There's no in between. Well, now Camden Lewis, we're talking to him just because he's a really darn good interview. And he met with the media yesterday.
Any additional emphasis on special teams so far in fall camp under this staff?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Coach Locklyn knows what he's doing. You know, we're working every phase. We're getting it in. It looks like, you know, there's special teams every few, I don't know how to describe it, every few bits of practice, we'll have it integrated in some way. You know, we'll throw field goals into some team situations. I assume we'll even probably start punting here soon in team situations. But yeah, even the first few minutes of practice, the practice you guys get to see, that first 5 minutes every day, we're working skills for returners, just ball skills, because that's so important. And one thing we always talk about is owning the ball and just keep maintaining possession. You can't do that unless you practice. So
talk about
every day.
Every day, like you just mentioned. You have a routine, you have a thing that you go through every day, just like that.
Oh, definitely. One thing I've really tried to work on is just the mental side of things, because that's so important. We had this mental performance coach come in I guess Coach Lanning must have hired him, Corey Schaefer, and he's been awesome for me, just talking about pre-kick thoughts and what's going through my head before every kick. Make sure it's not too much, not too little, just the right checks to have before I go on the field every time. I think that'll be super beneficial in games when everything moves in fast pace, fast motion. You need to find a way to bring your heart rate down, calm yourself down, and that's definitely something I've been working on and I've integrated in my routine is make sure I stick to my routine every time, because it's so easy to like get caught up in the moment and lose yourself and do something you're not normally doing when you practice. So those checks in my head I have every single time. I do them every kick now, even when I'm kicking on the field by myself. I take my breaths a certain way. I mean, you've probably seen there's always these pictures of me like with my chest out, because I'm just trying to put your body in a neutral state. And even when you're on the field by yourself, you need to make sure you're locking that in, so when you bring it out in the Watson, it's locked into your mind.
What are you telling yourself in your head before every kick?
That's confidential. No, it's really like little like kicking like keys and stuff. A big thing for me has always been like eyes. You see some kickers when they're young, they kick the ball, and you'll see a picture of them making contact with the ball, and their eyes are up here looking at the field goal post while they're kicking it. It's like trying to throw a dart at a dartboard where you're looking over there. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. So eyes on the ball, that's the one thing it sounds like the easiest thing to do in the world, but when your mind obviously wants to gravitate towards the result, it's so easy to put your head up and then you miss the kick now. So I get back in my stance, I take my deep breath, and then eyes. Lock it in, and then make sure my first step is the same consistency every time. And once I get that first step in, it's like automatic. It just kind of follows suit, and I keep my eyes on the target, and then boom, it just works. But those checks, those keys, the things I say will change throughout time. Like if I'm maybe like struggling with a certain mechanic or something, maybe I'm not following through the certain way I want to, like those checks will change. Right now it's first step in eyes. That's what it is for me right now. That's what I worked on with my coach over the summer. And I can guarantee you halfway through the season, if you ask me the same question, it'd be a completely different answer.
You often hear about kickers kind of having bonds on the team, because they're usually away from the rest of the team, kind of doing their own thing. You guys brought in a lot of guys this year for competition. What's that relationship been like with you guys? You're out there kind of together a lot, but you're competing for this one job that you guys all want. So what's that been like?
Absolutely, it's a cool balance, because we are like trying to take each other's spot, but at the same time, like these guys got here a couple weeks ago and I'm already like best friends with them. Like 2 of the new guys moved into my apartment, so we're living together. That's been awesome. Just having the guys around and being together really all the time is, I think, a good thing. Even the guys I'm competing directly with, like we were just upstairs. I don't know if you guys heard of Fall Guys. It's a game, but we play a lot of Fall Guys together when we have our spare time, and it just gets our mind away from football and just allows us to like enjoy each other's company, and like we really have become good friends. I think we got a really good group here.
What two moved in with you?
Alex Bales and Ross James, the 2 young guys, the kicker and punter. So yeah, but the other guys, we're always hanging out together. Like if we have a night off, we'll all hang out at our place and just play Fall Guys or whatever. That's so important though, because like it's so easy to like build this like horrible relationship with each other. I talked to you guys in the past about Henry. Like Henry's one of my best friends, and like he beat me out. You know what I mean? Like I could have so easily been like, man, like I don't want to be friends with this guy. But like even to this day, like we're texting each other every day, like, hey, how'd practice go? Because he's obviously at a different spot now, and we've always coached each other. Like even right now, like with the guys in the field, we'll go off on our own and kind of kick and just work on our thing on a separate field, and I'll kick one and make sure the other 2 guys are watching me. I'm like, tell me like what you would change about my swing, and whatever, they'll give me some advice, and I'll watch them and be like, and they'll say like, what would you change? So we're constantly trying to get each other better. We all want the team to be as successful as possible, and if we have like beef in our room, like if the guy who is going out on that field at the end of the day isn't like ready to go, like we want this team to be successful. We want wins. Like we want the guy who goes on the field to be like confident, not feel like they're like, oh, I got these guys behind me who like hate me and they want me to miss this. Like no, we're rooting for our teammates. Like, and if you're not, like you're not here for the right reasons. Like you should be rooting for your teammates no matter what. So it sounds cliche, and sounds like that's the thing you're supposed to say, but that's really I think how our room works. And I think we have a really, really good group of guys. Coach Lord's recruited some good dudes. That's one of the things he always says to us is he always has us meet the guys, meet the recruits before they come, and be like how are they as a person? He's like, he wants to make sure we're bringing in guys who are, you know, going to fit in and going to be a match. And I think we've been really successful with that with this recruiting class of specialists.
And do you want the kickoff job still, or do you think if it went elsewhere that it would help you in any way? I mean, it's a matter of preference. I mean,
absolutely.
Some kickers who
absolutely, yeah.
rather just be place kickers.
I mean, I'd be the punter if I could. I'd be the holder. I'd be the snapper. Give me whatever I can do. I'll take it. Yeah, and we're all competing for every job. Coach Locklyn said every job's open. Field goal's open, kickoff's open, punt's open. No, we're not worrying about the past. Whoever wins the job in the camp is going to win the job.
No,
and that's how it should be.
I'm asking more of like, do you think that if you didn't have to do kickoffs, that would help you with kicks, or does it not correlate at all? Just the workload aspect.
I mean, I guess like logistically, maybe, but I want to do. If I'm the best kickoff guy, I want to be out there. Like if I do the best in kickoff and I'm the best guy to kick off, I want to be out there. If another guy's better than me on kickoff, he deserves to be out there. Like I want whoever's going to get the ball in the end zone, whoever's going to kick touchbacks, whoever's going to give our team the best chance to win, like should be on the field. But obviously, yeah, I'd want. If I could punt, I can't punt, but if I could, I'd be fighting for the job too. But I can't punt. So.
You mentioned how that's difficult. How does it that Boyle's able to, in your observation, where he obviously did kickoffs before, he punted when he was at Wazoo, and he's competing for the kicking job. So, what is it about that is either difficult, or how he's able to handle all three, or?
Yeah, he's really good at all three. I think that's something that is rare because the punt swing and the kickoff swing and the field goal swing are three different swings. And if you're able to master all three, that's super impressive. I can't punt. I think it has a little bit to do with my frame. I'm not that tall. The longer legs help. Andrew's a little taller. So I think it's super impressive he's able to do that. I think he's just an athlete. Like, he's just a super athletic kid. And I kind of forgot your question.
I was saying, like, all right, he's able to do it because of the athleticism and whatnot. You chalk it up to mainly just if you were 4 or 5 inches taller, maybe you could be that much better of a punter.
Maybe I could. But yeah, I've always tried to specialize. Kickoff and field goal has been my thing. Those two swings are the most similar, so I've always tried to just specialize on those two and become the best I can there because I know I don't have the physical advantages to be an NFL level punter. So there's just no really reason in me going for that. You know what I mean? But when you get a guy like him who can, like, why would you not? He's competing for all three right now. Yeah. Good for him. Like, I wish I could do that.
In the spring, you talked about the importance of having that continuity from snapper to holder to you. Tom not being here, how does that impact that? Is that difficult void to fill potentially?
I mean, we brought in 2 really good holders. So I mean, yeah, if it would be an issue if we hadn't brought in guys who can hold, but both guys, both the punters, even Ross James, the young kid, he can hold. Adam Berry can hold. He's done it for 4 years at Temple. He's old as crap now. He's the new old man in the group. He beat out Carson for that. I guess Carson's old too, but anyway, Carson and Adam have been awesome together. Even like we've only been together for 3 weeks now, and I think we're super locked in. And we've got 2 or 3 more weeks just to keep doing it every single day. And yeah, we're super solid. I don't think that'll be an issue at all.
So it's the punters are still working as holders.
Yeah.
Still for it. Okay.
And I think the reason for that is like we spend so much time together. Like we go out on the field by ourselves, like, and have an hour to ourselves. So like we have an hour every day to work our operation. And like I've talked about in the past, like being best friends. Like I was close with Tom and Carson. Like it was just I just trusted those guys off the field too. So it was like it was easy. But I'm already quickly developing that relationship with Adam. And like I said earlier, playing Fall Guys together, you know, we learn to trust each other on every level possible. Like as serious as I can be, like it really does. We really do learn so much about each other and get so comfortable with each other. But having a guy who's done it for 4 years, and he likes to pull up this clip of him catching a one-handed field goal last year, putting it down at Temple. You guys can look it up, but he shows it to me every day. Like, man, I got you. And I'm like, thank you. So he'll be super solid.
Oh, we're watching obviously with some of the squib kicks and onside and all this.
Oh, those are fun.
Early, yeah.
Those are fun.
But
it's my favorite part of practice right
between
there.
Saturday and a week from Saturday when it's open scrimmage. Who are the kickoff returners who you want to avoid most? Who are the guys you like? I will do everything to avoid the ball going to this guy.
I've never really thought about that. I'm supposed to just kick it in the end zone.
Well, yeah. If they return, if it's not in the fifth row, who are the returners who are the most dynamic right now?
I don't even know if I can answer that question. They're all way more athletic than I am. So I'm super impressed with every one of those guys. I think one of the things we've really worked on the most is like Coach Locklyn talks about, like I said earlier, owning the ball and like who's gonna catch the ball every single time. So maybe not the guy who's most dynamic, but like we want to focus on like maintaining possession of the football. So personally, I'd be scared of like the biggest guy. Like if Noah Sewell was running at me, I would not want to see that. You know what I mean? But like maybe I could tackle some of the smaller guys. They're probably too quick to get around me.
You do not want the wedge.
No. I don't want to mess with that at all. So no, I don't know. They're all crazy athletic. It's not. That's a really great competition, and I think that guys will probably be mixing it out all season because that's just how it works. That's just the nature of it.
You guys brought in 3 new guys with the same initials, first name A, last name B.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to get used to that, learn everybody's name?
AB.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually kind of funny with like charting sometimes because like we have like initials like CL, like we'll write on certain locations. So one's A, one's B. Like I feel like I don't fit in, man. Like CL, it doesn't make any sense. Like I'm not belonging right now. But we actually noticed that like one of the first days, like we were on the field together. Someone said like, oh, we got a bunch of ABs in the group. Andrew Boyle, Alex Bales, like Adam Berry. It was kind of weird. I think also last names B's. Basso. Is that it? Is there another B? Battles. So we have 5 B last names. Yeah. I don't know if that matters to any of you, but we thought it was kind of cool.
It would surprise you how much it does.
Yeah.
It's really surprising.
I don't know if that was like a thought when we was recruiting, but I don't fit in, so I'm one of the outliers, unfortunately. It is what it is. I'll live.
Well, specialists, you know. Camden Lewis, I thought that was a fabulous interview. Honestly, a lot of good stuff because there's so much to it, you know. Kick the ball through the uprights. Yeah, okay. Kick it out of the end zone. Yeah, okay. There's more to it than that. I appreciated all that from Camden Lewis. When we come back, talking wide receivers with Isaah Crocker on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Isaah Crocker, first time that we've gotten the chance to talk with him in this fall camp. He wasn't one of the guys that spoke with the media on media day, but he did talk with the media yesterday after practice. Really good conversation with one of the guys battling to make some plays at the wide receiver position, Isaah Crocker.
Part of this team for a long time. You're one of the oldest guys out there these days. Do you feel any responsibility to be a leader with this group?
Most definitely, man, especially with the young guys. A lot of young guys coming in this season and this year. I just felt like the older guys can, lead by example and, show these young guys how it is.
Coming off a day off and being in full pads today, any more juice out there today?
A little. Team was a little sluggish today, but other than that, there was a lot of people and a lot of other people that weren't sluggish and brought the energy up. So that brought a lot of good energy into practice today.
Who are some of those guys who, when it's kind of a sluggish day?
Honestly, man, it can be really anybody. It's anybody on the team. Today there wasn't really specific players, but as one person started to get us going, that's when everybody started to, come together and the energy was there. So.
Being a guy who moves Spencer well, and went back a ways with him. Just what's it like going through this camp? And how often does he occur to you? How often does he come up in conversations with other guys? Just what's that like?
It's really, for me, honestly, it's really hard, but I just got to keep going, man. And it's sad that it happened, and we're really just dedicating this whole entire season to him, man. And everybody, it took a toll on everybody, really. But we're really just looking to, get that fire going and really just, honor him for this entire season.
A couple times during fall camp so far, Lanning's brought up learning the way football is meant to be played. Football, there's supposed to be a way football is meant to be played for you guys. What does that, it says something like that, what does that mean for you?
To me, man, it's just really just our 4 pillars, man. Connection, growth, toughness, and sacrifice, really. And we just bring those 4 pillars out, every single day. And we live by that now. So, and especially since Spencer, the situation with Spencer, that just adds more fire to the situation. So.
Coach Lanning says that this team is really player-led. So how have you guys really taken like a practice like today where, maybe you guys did come out sluggish? What's that conversation like in the locker room to come out tomorrow and be better?
It's just more of just, going back and watching film and basically just seeing what we did wrong and just tried to fix those situations. Every day isn't going to be perfect, but we try to make it as much perfect as we can, obviously. But yeah, just tomorrow, just have just different energy, better energy than we had today, and just go over film and, tomorrow will be better.
What's the biggest difference, would you say, between last year with BMAC compared to now with Junior Adams?
There's a difference because it's more player-led. It's more of us focusing and kind of being free to do what we want, but we have to do it in the coach's scheme. We can't just go out there and do whatever we want to do because it's not gonna, it's obviously not gonna work. But as much as options that we have now as compared to last year, I feel like it's a lot better.
Would you prefer it that way? Is it more enjoyable for you at this point?
Yes, 100%. It's a lot more enjoyable than it has been for a couple years for me.
Especially when you guys are looking to replace Johnny and
Yeah,
Jalen.
yeah, that too. But they showed us the way, and I'm grateful for being there and watching them and learning what they've done and how they were coming, throughout those years and years that I've been behind them. So I'm just basically trying to use their tools that they showed me, man. And
With those guys gone, there's a sense of, there's some playing time up for grabs this year. Some guys ready to step up. Do you think there's a sense of excitement with this group of receivers this year?
Oh, most definitely. Everybody in the receiver room will play this year. There's not going to be certain guys that sit out. There's going to be a lot of people in that room that's going to play. And that's what I'm excited for, man. I'm just really excited to see everybody happy. Nobody really down, bro, but just really just positive. No negative in the room, man. So.
Yes, sir. And you mentioned the team being player-led this year. Who's an example of that you've seen so far this fall?
One person that has stepped up, and I'll give him credit, man, is Bennett Williams for sure, because after the Spencer situation, he just been fulfilling that leadership role, man, and just trying to push himself better and make himself better. And we know that when he makes himself better, he makes the team better. So that's definitely one person. And I would say the front line too as well.
Who's the best blocker in this receiver room?
There is none. We're all good.
Good answer.
We are all good. But like I said before, just every day, every practice, just get 1% better. So.
Does it feel like there's as much of an emphasis? I know BMAC is kind of no block, no rock sort of thing. Is there that much of an emphasis?
BMAC emphasized blocking a lot, and it's kind of the same as here. How it is now. We just got to do our job, man. Really, because if we don't block, we can't run the ball. So they emphasize it the same exact way as last year, as BMAC would. It's very important. Everything is really important. Catching the ball is important. Same as blocking. So.
What are your early impressions of Dillingham?
Man, he is really, really funny, and I love KD. I call him KD. One thing that I really like about him is he's really, really open. He likes to, instead of teaching us, he likes to ask us not what we prefer, but options, as in what route to run. If he's off, run a certain type of route, just stuff like that. So that's what I kind of like about KD, man.
Yeah, you talked about the excitement in the wide receiver room. Like, with him coming, it's been a run-centric offense in the past. Like, what's the excitement like with the wide receivers, like opportunities to get the ball downfield more? Is that something you guys are thinking about?
Oh, yes, most definitely. We are definitely going to throw the ball a lot more, and that's what I'm really excited for. Like I said before, there's a lot of talent in the receiver room, and we have a lot of talent on this team, and we can't only just run the ball, but we can throw the ball. And we've had a lot of receivers throughout the entire years. But I feel like this year, man, it's going to be a lot of throwing the ball and a lot of running the ball. That's what I'm really excited for. It's not going to be one-dimensional, sometimes. But, yeah, I'm really excited for it.
You mentioned about, how young receivers, your young coaches, how they're able to talk to you guys more, like Kenny Dillingham. How do you think having so many young coaches on the staff is able to communicate with you guys better?
I don't think it's not any negative impact. I think it's very, very positive because they're younger. For me, I'm 23 years old, so I guess I would say I'm kind of closer to KD's age than everybody else. But to me, man, it's just better because I can sit down and talk to KD. I can sit down and actually talk to these new coaches and the new staff and have a real conversation with them, man, and just be open and honest with them, really. And they know what we've been through because they're older and they have experience. So just listening to them and having them share stories for us, so we don't go down a different path than some other people. But yeah.
In the age of college athletics, where the first time you don't get playing time, guys leave.
Mm-hmm.
You just said you're 23. You've been here for a while, and I think if you decided to put your name in the portal, a lot of people would have understood.
Mm-hmm.
Why stay? What draws you here to keep pushing here?
Honestly, in my very, very, I think I would say my sophomore year, I did want to transfer. I did want to leave, just because of of me personally. I dug myself in a deeper hole and I couldn't dig myself out. And the last year with Cristobal, he was telling me I was doing very, very well. I completely changed, and I was doing better with my school, doing better with football in regards to the situation that happened. For me, I just wanted to stay, get my degree, which I got my degree. I graduated. And I just want to finish it out. And on top of that, the Spencer situation happened, so I have no turn in looking at any other school. I want to be here. I want to play for this team.
How much of a driver is that? You still got time to make a big impact.
I definitely do have a lot of time. I have 2 years left, obviously, but man, me and Spencer had a certain goal, and that was to make it to the NFL. We came here as a package deal, and just me growing up with him, man, and us being together damn near every day, excuse my language, every day here and just living out our Oregon dream. I have to stay, bro. I have to. There's no and if buts about it.
That was pretty cool to hear that from Isaah Crocker. Right? You started out, you heard early on him talking about Spencer Webb. They were very close, knew each other very well, came as a package deal. I really hope that for the entire team's sake that a guy like Isaah Crocker and the other older guys can have a successful season this year, not just because of the season and what that means, but because it is a lot about Spencer Webb. Everybody's going to be thinking about him over the course of this season. Hope that everything goes according to plan for the Ducks in more ways than one. When we come back, we're wrapping up the show, getting ready for another practice, and then maybe a scrimmage on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Finishing up Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon football practicing again this afternoon. The Ducks gearing up for their first scrimmage of fall camp. And we'll hear from Dan Lanning over the course of this weekend. Some other interviews after practice today. Tony Tuioti, as well as Matthew Pallage on the defensive side of the ball, a couple assistant coaches. All those interviews for you on Monday's show after we wrap up interviews this afternoon and over the weekend. I might be back on Monday. I don't know. The phone did not ring yet. This has not gone off, and I was really hoping that we could end Friday with my phone ringing, being like, okay, it's time. But we'll find out. Maybe it'll happen at practice. I don't know. Either way, Jordan Brenner's here. Jerry Allen will be with us. And if I don't see y'all after this weekend, well, then it's been great. If you are just joining us, though, no Oregon soccer tonight. If you missed the news, no exhibition against Corbin. Game has been canceled due to COVID protocol. Will not be rescheduled. So Oregon soccer going to open its season next Thursday instead of tonight at Pat Bay Field. Graham Abel, Oregon soccer head coach. He is scheduled to join us on Duck Insider on Monday. Thanks to Scott. Thanks to Ryan. Let's hope Jordan's hosting on Monday, huh? That would be good. That'd be nice. See you sometime.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the Drug Facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drugfactslabel.